Now, tell me, do you ever get people that want more than just maid service?
There's always someone who wants more than just maid service, just like there's always someone who thinks that there's anything more than champagne in the champagne room. To quote Chris Rock.
That's right. That's right.
There's champagne in the champagne room.
Now, how do you
but
let
you
people
don't
know?
want champagne.
That's right.
You want sex. And
Yeah.
there's no sex in the champagne room.
Yeah, that's a totally different room.
Where you?
I'm Thom Naylor. Hanging out with porn stars and showgirls is fucking awesome. But how much do we really know about them? Join me on the Side Piece podcast where we sit down with them and hear some of the craziest stories from inside the industry. I look forward to seeing you, and follow me on the Side Piece podcast. All right, welcome to the Side Piece podcast. My guest this time is a good friend of mine, Nia Nebula.
Hi, everyone.
How are you?
Oh my God, I've had the best day ever.
Without me.
Without you. Well, you ditched me, so
know.
I made my own fun.
I
I'm
apologize.
sorry.
I kept trying to make it work, and then I said 3 o'clock, and then 3 o'clock was not happening.
You said noon, and
Well,
then
noon,
you said
then
3.
Yeah, noon, then 3. And then it turned into, I didn't get done until 5. So tell me a little bit about you first. Nia, we met, 5 years ago now? Or is it 4 years
I
ago?
think it was 4. I'm
Maybe
pretty
4.
sure it was 4.
Now, I know, just upon my first meeting, that you are an only child.
Yep.
I know. I can tell. Do you want to know what the signs are? No, I'm kidding.
Sure. Why not?
No. And you text like my husband. As I'm leaving off the text, you're already responding. So I always know you have a phone attached to your ear somewhere, or in your hand, or by you.
The
at all
sad part
moments.
is I feel like that actually became more of a thing with the industry and with the need to constantly be texting and promoting at all times.
Yes.
So I don't think that's an only child thing. I think that's a need to
You
market
can't pass
because
that off.
marketing's how I feed myself. So
I'm not going to let you pawn it off on that. Now, also, too, one of the things that I do like about you is when I first met you, you are, I would not use the word aggressive, you are pleasantly engaging. You really go after it. You got my attention multiple times. And at first I thought, God, this girl's a lot. And then I thought, no, you know what? She really knows what she's doing. She's got her shit together. She's got a game plan. It seems to me that every time I see you, you are thinking ahead. You're in the moment, but you're also thinking about what's next. I don't know if people have told you that, but I think in this industry, that's where people really need to be. And I think when you come across people like me or other people, we're the people that are going to book you, and you're always hedging for that front row seat, and that's pretty good. I like to see that because some people just think it's supposed to happen for them, and you can be beautiful and you can be everything, but you still need to get it, ask for it.
one of the things that I found has been probably the best I've done for my career is the fact that my entire job portfolio this far has always been sales.
Yeah.
And so because I've always done sales in some form or another, I've always had to be engaging with people. And we have a saying in the stripper world, at least when it comes to just dancer, not feature, where you can be the most pretty girl in the bar and
I thought you were going to say, fuck all these bitches.
No, you can be the prettiest girl in the bar, and you could literally just because of your looks be intimidating to people.
Yeah.
But if you can crack a joke and be engaging and be forthcoming with something just with a little bit more personality, that's kind of what grabs people. And I kind of honed in on that. And
Yeah, you nudged your wife
tried
even
to-
out of the way. I was talking to her and you were like, move over. So, speaking of your wife, she is in the industry as well, and her and I had a great time when she was here. So, how does it feel to be married to somebody else in the industry?
Honestly, it's kind of refreshing. It's not something that I was expecting to ever happen, but we just clicked so well. And our goals are aligned, our perspectives and what we want out of everything generally going forward are aligned, and it's rare to find someone that can work with you towards your goals.
What I want to know is, how do I get your marriage? Do I get to live separately in separate cities? That's what I want. No, I'm just-
To be fair, we're different sleepers. Like, she really likes to wake up early and take afternoon naps. I like to sleep in. So we've always just had like a slightly different relationship in that regard.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're still together. We're still snuggly and cuddly and like kissy and lovey-dovey. It's just
Well, we'll get to that part
it
later.
can't always be like, you know, the
We'll get beyond the cuddling. No, that's perfect. And so how long have you two been together?
4 years now.
Oh, so you were nudging her out of the way right when you first worked
Oh,
together?
she got stuck with me hard. The funny thing is that was one of the things I said to her well before she even realized who I was or what kind of shenanigans she was in for.
Yeah. Now, you live in South Beach.
I'm in Key West.
Oh, Key West. Okay. And she is in
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay. So, have you two ever lived together? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay.
We go back and forth a ton.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Now, tell me this. Living in South Beach. Why do I keep wanting to say South Beach?
I don't know. You just really want a beach vacation.
You know why? Because you were talking about, there was something last night, and it clicked in my head, and that's all I could get it. We'll get out of that phase. So, in Key West, primarily when you're, what is it? Is it mostly all older gay men?
We've got the gay side of the Keys and we've
I'm
got
teasing.
the straight side of the Keys. And the ongoing joke is it's a man's paradise regardless of how you look at it.
There you go.
So.
That's what I was after. So talking about that, and then we're going to get into some other stuff, but I understand that you have a maid service.
I do.
Now, is this something you just started?
I kickstarted in October almost as a joke.
Okay.
And then I realized that there was actually money to be made in it. And now it's become a pretty substantial part of my existence, honestly.
So tell me, it's a topless maid service, but it's also more of like a party service.
Yeah.
So you do everything. You clean,
I clean, I cook,
Cocktail.
I barbecue.
you barbecue.
I'm not joking. I showed up to someone's house at 9 a.m. with 3 other girls. We woke those guys up. We cleaned up all their rooms. We ran the laundry. They were like on the beer run and on the breakfast run. We started like cleaning up last night's party. Beer cans everywhere as far as the eye can see. Pizza boxes, everything was a disaster. So like 3 of
Jeez.
us got to like literally just cleaning up the kitchen. One of us was outside cleaning up the patio because of course everything's a mess. And so we ended
It's like
up
a hangover service.
it is a
with
hangover
tits.
service, absolutely. I think I need to partner up with the Ivy people.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what you need.
I ended up frying bacon on the grill outside. We had like
It's funny
a
you say
giant
that.
thing
That's
of
the
eggs.
usual route for dancers that want to go out.
Nursing, yeah.
They become phlebotomists. So, yeah, that would actually be a good partnership. That would be fun. Now, tell me, do you ever get people that want more than just maid service?
There's always someone who wants more than just maid service, just like there's always someone who thinks that there's anything more than champagne in the champagne room. To quote Chris Rock.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, there's champagne in the champagne room.
Now, how do you
but
let
you
people
don't
know?
want champagne.
That's right.
You want sex. And
Yeah.
there's no sex in the champagne room.
Yeah, that's a totally different room. I think it was you that we were talking about. But that last night we were talking about strip clubs. Oh, no. I think you were at the counter when somebody said, I like being on that side. No, it was you. Your friend had said, I like being on that side of the counter at the club. And I
Okay.
said, what's funny is I like being on the other side of the counter myself at strip clubs because I can be a totally different person there. But we have a name for him. We always laugh about him. He's a good guy, though. But I think you were trying to hustle at that point. You weren't listening to our conversation. You were thinking about how to get him in the room.
Honestly, I was just trying to figure out how like drunk he was gonna get. I don't mind babysitting my friends. Sometimes it's fun.
Hey, well, you almost had to babysit me today. So let's talk about a few things. So you're Canadian, but you were born in Eastern Europe?
Yep.
Okay. Now, your real name is a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
They loved it at the hotel when I gave it to them. They
Oh,
said,
I'm sure they did.
"Is her name Nebuchadnezzar?" I said, that is not Nebuchadnezzar. Look at it again.
The ongoing joke in my family is my mom telling me, if I would have known we would end up in an English-speaking country, I would have given you something simpler. And I'm like, thanks, Mom.
Now, can we tell people just at least your first name?
Nope.
No, not even your first name.
I keep that stuff.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, no, you do. That's why I asked. That's why I even used that other reference. Let's just say it's lengthy.
It's a mouthful.
It is pretty though. I was,
Bulgaria.
yeah. Now, are they from? Now, I had a friend that did Peace Corps, and she was in Sofia, and
I've never spent too much time in the capital,
She
honestly.
loved it there, but I don't know anything about the country. So if she said she loves
Bad
it.
joke, but it's kind of like the Mexico of the European Union.
Oh, really?
Everyone loves to go on vacation there, and everyone loves to be like, who goes there anyway?
Oh, really? Okay, I learned something new.
Cheap vacations, lots of beach destinations,
Okay.
and
See, I learned something new.
great food.
Makes sense. Now, what part of Canada are you from?
Vancouver.
Vancouver. So, so you're right up there with.
Just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Just like the rest of us.
Let's say you're all from that area.
Yep.
Why is that?
Honestly, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, because I mean, Justice
And Janine.
and Janine and
Dynamite.
Dynamite, and
I think Roxy's from BC too.
I think so too. And who's
Now we
the-
have Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel Revolver.
Mhm.
Or not Rachel Revolver.
Rampage.
Rachel Rampage. Because she just got her work visa.
Yeah.
Now, do you have that same weird visa that Justice
No.
has?
No.
Okay.
I'm the only one that's actually here a little more permanently. Actually, out of all of us.
That's right. Okay. You're permanent. I was going to make a 51st state joke, but I won't. I'll pass. Because you already deadpanned me the last time. Which was even better. So, a couple things about you that I do know. You're a pretty experienced traveler, but not just a traveler. You've worked
Yeah.
extensively all over the world.
Yeah.
Um,
It's really great to have 2 passports and a green card.
oh, see.
Highly recommend it.
Now tell me, where have you worked?
I've done 2 tours in Europe. I was in Australia pre-pandemic for 2.5 months.
Okay.
And I've toured Canada pretty extensively by this point. Slowly making my way around here. We'll make it happen.
Now, when you did Canada, now I understand they have some different things. I know that in Canada they have like a circuit.
Yeah.
Now I'm not sure what it's called.
They're
but
different circuits. Every single province has its own one.
Okay, so you have to be a membership, get a membership to it, or
You work with an agency, and
Okay.
then like you're doing 18-minute stage sets with like costumes and props, and then
Jeez.
you're not just doing weekend shows. You're doing like Monday through Sunday, potentially either Saturday or Sunday. A lot of the bars nowadays don't anymore, but we used to do a lot of like day shift as well. So you'd
Yeah.
be starting at noon and ending at 2 in the morning.
Oh, that's a lot of shows.
It's not necessarily that you're on the floor the entire time. You go do your show, and then you can grab someone out of the bar to go run errands, go grocery shopping, or like grab whatever.
Oh, really? It's like an in and out day all day.
But you're touring across like the entire province. So one week you're here, the next week you're here, the next week you're here, and then you schedule a week off. Like it's not just like asking for bookings to
Yeah.
like happen and like waiting for a contract to come through. You call the agency, or the agency calls you, and you line up the entire schedule straight through. Just keep in mind that this is like your the prices have dropped since I was up there.
Yeah.
And the last time I called, I mean, it was still like at least 2 or 3 years ago, and they offered me something very, very low, and I was like, I started at a rate higher than that, but thank you. I think
Yeah,
I'll
I was going to
pass.
ask you, is it all the same? Now, to get out of that, is there any just like lap dances now there?
Yeah, lap dances have become a lot more prevalent, but I mean, they're not really lap dances anymore, if that makes sense. So every single province has its own contact like regulation.
Okay.
For the most part, you're doing air dances, so you're hovering over someone while they're sitting in a chair, and you can't touch them, and they can't touch you.
Shane, do you want an air dance? I'll give you one.
And then when you reach Manitoba, it will be like from here to where the stage is, and the girl
So
would
that
be
sounds
on
like the end of the
stage.
line when you get to Manitoba. That's the end.
You hop into Ontario, and then they start doing like more stage diving and stage tips. So I mean, it really does change. And then on top of that, it's also up to the liquor board inspector, because that's who implements the nudity regulations
Oh my God. It's
on
just
how
as
things are handled
complicated
in
as here
different
then.
clubs. Yeah.
So do you miss that system ever or no?
I miss the friends I built in it.
Yeah.
I miss the fact that I got to see my friends more often. Now, where like the reason I love doing the competitions and Exotica and everything else is I get to see all my friends at the same time.
Yeah.
And we actually get to like hang out and party and like see each other. But it's so hard on the circuit down here to actually get to like interact with all the hot bitches I work with.
Are you one of the ones that will board with no, with Justice? No, I'm kidding. It's always a joke because Justice always has her
are
own
you
room.
kidding me? I volunteered a room with her.
Oh, did you? Okay, see,
Her and I actually just got a contract together, so both of us are going to be in Las Vegas in August at the Hustler Club. Come say hi.
Wait, are you going to be there right before ED?
Yep. And I am so excited. Are you kidding me? I get 3 days with one of my best friends.
I love her.
In Vegas. We're going to have such a hoot. It's going to be great.
She's crazy. I always have a good time with her. So how long are you going to be in Vegas then? Are you going to go there?
I have to fly in a day early, too, to get my licensing. So it's supposed to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but I have to go in on Wednesday to get everything sorted.
Oh, my God. Cripe. So let's talk about that. And then we'll get into some of your personal stuff. Competition-wise, you guys spend a majority of your time doing competitions from Exotica to ED to some other things that would be considered pageants, I guess. And then what's your feeling on those? You don't want to do pageants, or do you want to do pageants?
I feel like I've gotten to the point where the people I want to compete with are the people that are hosting things that have either been established or that have people that are at equal or greater competitive value.
Can't stand you.
So what I bring, I don't know. I just feel like I want to be competing against people that are worth competing against. Like, I don't mind being a sore loser when the girl who won is someone who makes my jaw drop to the floor.
She's just telling you all you guys that she competed with before suck. That was a real nice way of saying it. Fuck y'all. No, that was very nice of you. Good. I was going to try to put you on the spot, but I knew you would just take it.
How's that going?
It went just where I thought it would. Right with the 51st date joke. So, no, the reason I ask is because I look at some of the competitions and I think which ones are really important and which ones mean something to you and which ones are just part of the workload, to get established or to stay established or stay in the
Here's the thing, though. We have to pay to enter competitions. Not necessarily pay to enter, but pay for, like, the travel, pay for the expenses of the props and the shows and, like, the luggage and everything else that comes attached to that, the food, like taking time off work, everything else. So if you're not doing something that's going to benefit your career, if you're not being seen by people who are going to be booking, if it's not something that's going to benefit your career, then why are you doing it? It's kind like, it's good to have a starting point. It's always good to have a starting point, but I feel like having stepping stones is good, but just like having stepping stones, it's good to know when it's time to take the next step.
Yeah. So, okay, that'll lead me to a question, and I really didn't think about asking you. But I always have a thought, like when I'm at ED on the floor, I always wonder what the fuck is wrong with the showgirls. They're nowhere to be found. They show up late. If they do come, they parade around with another girl somewhere. I only saw a couple of you in your booth, and you were one of them. I mean, now you've ventured out, but I like going there and engaging with people in their booth so they have like a realm that they're in, and I can kind of see them in their own element. If you're just out on the floor somewhere, I don't really get a good picture of you. I mean, I see you, but I should be seeing all of your stuff and what you're about.
It took me a couple of rounds with Exotica to figure out exactly how to even get into the booth space, let alone run the booth space.
That's what I was going to... Okay, so tell me about that.
I've come to my personal version of what works for me.
Yeah.
And this round next week, I get to break Farley into that space because she's never done a booth before.
Good.
And I was like, cool, buy this, and
By
this.
the way, that's her wife.
I'm super excited, though. Honestly, I love running the booth, but I asked Brittany at Exotica if she could put us side by side so that I could give her a little bit of coaching and also we could play off of each other, so I'd have like a buddy beside me. Not that she never puts us in a great spot anyway, but I was like, at least that way I can at least that way I can be like, a little bit more of a helping hand because it's her first time being on the floor.
Yeah.
So, but unless you're used to being like customer facing, because when you're expo sitting at a booth, the people coming by are like club owners and
Yeah.
people that have some kind of stake in the industry, and Exotica is all customer facing. So you have to have a customer face and a customer voice, and not only do you have to be able to do it while standing on top of the really shitty carpet, because no offense, but standing around in 8-inch heels on that carpet is not going to happen in my
Yeah.
books.
Yeah,
Let
you
alone
need
all day.
pads.
Let alone all day. But you also have to figure out how to interact with people, how the different cities are going to do different things for you.
Yeah.
It's similar to featuring, actually, in a way, because if you can't figure out how to make the rules and regulations of every single club work with your shows, how interactive you can get, how you can push boundaries in whatever direction you can, it's you have to figure out what's going to work, because everywhere is so vastly different.
Well, I would say after many years of me not complaining but just calling into question, there's one performer that last year drew my attention immediately. I'm not going to say who she is, but she was sitting in an absinthe cup in her booth, and she was in full regalia, the wig, everything. And when I saw her in that booth, I thought, that's a showgirl right there. That's what I'm looking for. I want somebody that has that whole thing going right now. She was living in that moment. And you do the same thing, but you have a different way of doing it.
I just went around with no panties and dresses and
But you had
joking around about flashing.
Yes. And you had the
Literally
tassels. So that's a different kind of engagement, and that's what I look for when I'm looking for performers.
Personality.
Yeah, somebody that's going to get out in the crowd, or somebody that has some kind of
niche market.
Yeah, presence. I think you know who I'm talking about. But it's a look that you're after. If you just have a book with pictures of you sitting on a table, I just blow past you. That's not engaging to me. I want to see what you're about and what you've got. And like I said, you changed outfits a couple times. I saw you in a dress. I saw you in a gown. I saw you in a bra. That was in 15 minutes. No. Maybe you're just taking shit off. But tell me, what would be your advice to showgirls and performers now that are trying to get in? What have you learned?
I've got one that's actually very relevant to a bunch of stuff happening online right now.
Yes.
And I just had this discussion with one of the newer girls who's actually a pretty close friend. And my piece of advice is find other people that you can talk to about your problems and that you can vent to. Most of us are more than happy to be friends with each other. Most of us are very friendly towards each other. Most of us understand the difficulties that we're facing in the back end of this industry.
Yeah.
But taking your problems, whether it's with management, with shitty customers, with whatever else you're facing, because there's always going to be something where we're frustrated, you can't take it online. You really can't take it online, because then it becomes personal. So you have to find an outlet that is going to be enough for you to and this is going to be controversial, because everyone's you have a right and freedom to just vocalize your issues, and there can be a time and a place to vocalize, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But sometimes doing that isn't just a detriment to yourself, it can be a detriment to other people that are being affected.
Yeah,
and
I always say now, when you text something or type
online has to be happy.
Let somebody else read it first.
And peppy. I don't know about that. One of the things that I started doing was running everything through ChatGPT, and it's just feeding it prompts and trying to make it figure out how to make things happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm a grouchy bitch first thing in the morning, every morning.
That's why I say those are the worst times to start messaging.
Anything. And so I run it through there, and I'm like, oh, I sound like an absolute raging cunt bag.
Yeah.
So run your stuff through ChatGPT. Try to figure out a way to just make it as happy as possible, and find someone else to sit in the background and be a catty bitch with, because that's not the place to put it.
When I updated my phone, the new Siri voice that I had, and I don't know how I got it, it's this adolescent kind of bitch. And when she talks, I listen to my voice texts now. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like an asshole. Because she's very well, and I'm like, yeah, that's really nasty.
Oh my God.
I should probably rephrase that. So I've learned by listening to that voice that there's some different things I should probably say, or the candor should be different. Because in her voice, it sounds like a 16-year-old brat. who's really bitchy. And I don't know what the voice is. I have to look it up, but I think that's what I'm going to mark it as.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Oh my god.
That's how she sounds. She's like, I'm going to do that now. I'm like, what voice is that? I'm really not quite sure. But yeah, no, I've learned that. And I've also learned, even through my own messages, that, like you said, your online presence should be positive with
It's
touches
running
of
a
negativity.
business. Whether you like it or not, it's running a business.
You
If
can
you
criticize,
really,
but you just can't come off.
if you really
hard.
want to do it, make a different profile. Don't add anyone from the industry, and then post it out in the open. Like, there is Reddit. There are so many different
Yeah.
options for places where you can vent publicly anonymously.
Now, do you feel as though you have to respond to stuff like that when you see it? Do you
Honestly,
feel,
I try to stay
or
as
do you
far
just-
away from it, or
Yeah.
I try to keep it private behind a curtain, because as much as everyone has problems, it's no one's business what your problems are unless it directly affects them. So
Now, have you had a situation where you've had like a side call where you're like, hey, bitch, take that post down? Or
honestly, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And what was that like?
I mean, it's happened to me, and I've had to do it to other people. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
but
Now,
I
how did you
look at
take it when when it was on you?
I looked at it as my girlfriend looking out for me, as, hey,
Yeah.
that might not be the tone you want to post. And that's vice versa to the next girl that I turned it on. I was
Nice.
like, hey, girl, I love you to bits, but you might want to take that down. Like, that does not make you look good right now.
Good. No, that's hey,
Like-
that's very good. Because I think a lot of people don't take the time to call each other out.
I'd like to think that I've built
good
like
way.
a really good friendship with like a decent chunk of people out of this industry, and I'd like to think that a friendship also involves the fact that you can call each other out for bullshit.
Yeah.
So if my friends can't be candid with me when I'm doing something wrong, and they don't feel like they can be candid like back and forth, then like I don't really see it as much of a friendship. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So who do you think is your strongest supporter in the industry?
Oh my god, I've got a lot of really close
hey,
friends,
hey.
honestly. Like, they're
Just narrow it down. One. Give me one name.
I mean, I love all the Canadians. I love all the Canadians.
They're all so nice. No. Fuck you.
I'm here for the Beaver Show.
I know you are. Me too. No, so I mean, who would you say has been in the industry but always just behind you? Like, okay, like, go get it.
Someone that's not even down here, honestly.
Okay, another Canadian.
Yeah.
No,
I
no,
know.
go-
I mean, if the friendships are lasting that long and
No,
from
that's
that far
true.
away, then that should go
That's
to
right.
speak for itself. So,
Now, can you name this person?
Holly Hart.
Okay, and why? Why have they been there?
The first time we actually got introduced to each other was in Winnipeg, and she came up to me and told me that the agent told me to spit out my gum because I look like a cow chewing. And I made
hate gum on the
I
floor.
made best friends with that bitch that day.
See, just gotta tell
I
it like
love
it
that
is.
girl so hard, it's not even funny.
See, that's perfect. Now, who would you say has been your not your biggest supporter?
Oh god, there's always people out there that hate. I just don't have the time or the patience for
Is
it.
there one person though that I don't? Well, let's say you don't even have to name a name, but is there one person that when you just see stuff from them, you're just like, oh, I just want to pick
No,
up the
there's an
phone.
unfollow button for a reason.
Okay, so you do unfollow people.
I mean, they're still on the friends list. I just don't want to directly see some stuff, so.
All right.
I can be politically correct without taking them completely off the list, right?
Let's ask this then. What's it take to become the unfan list from Nia Nebula? Like, how far does somebody have to go?
Oh god, I can't deal with a lot of drama online. I
Okay.
think that's the main one.
That can happen. What's drama?
In any direction where
Come
you,
on.
no. No.
No.
No.
All right. Now, let's see. So you do something else interesting, talking about online. You do Sext Panther, which sounds to me like a fucked up phone sex, just with texting.
Kind
It's like
of,
me
yeah.
on a phone
So
in the 80s.
the platform is built
Running
similar
up a
to
bill.
the platform's built similar to like live cams.
Okay.
And then it just shows pictures of the people when they're online. So you
You
log
have
in.
to believe them.
You log in and you click through some profiles to make sure your profile is showing up as online, and then it literally live feeds you into their customer basis.
So you don't have to be visual.
No.
Okay. So what happens? What do you talk about?
Really depends on the person.
Really?
Yeah. Right now, one of my favorite people is actually.
I mean, are you an instigator, or do you wait for people to give you?
Depends on the day.
Or do you just get on there and
Depends on the day.
Oh.
Depends if they're directly reaching out to me and messaging me on there,
Yeah.
waiting for a reply, or if they.
What's the strongest come on that somebody's done where you're like, whoa, okay, that's right out of the gate.
I've
Let's
never
go.
had anyone be like super rude on there, but I'm also
Not
like
rude, but more like.
I feel like I get more aggressive shit in a strip club.
Like I always put it this way, like for gay guys, if you're on Grindr, usually you see a dick picture before you see a face, and then you think, in person, would I be like that? So online, how do
I mean, it costs money to send pictures.
That's what I was going to ask you. So
You charge for text messages, you charge for photos, you charge to send photos, you charge for voice messages, and then you can set how much you want to charge per minute.
This is phone sex, just updated.
Yeah, it's texting.
Wow. Okay, so what do most people? Well, I guess women call too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the difference between men and women on there when they're talking to you?
I've never talked to a woman on there. I mean, I joined the platform in January, so
Yeah,
it's still fairly new.
Who knows? You might be talking to a woman, you just don't know it.
Maybe. Who knows?
She's just very masculine.
I don't mind.
Oh, we're getting there. Don't worry. That's down here somewhere. So, or I would say, has there ever been somebody on there that you've just been like, yeah, bye?
Honestly, no.
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 So nothing could go too far for you?
I feel like they're the ones that ghost me first because they realize I have a personality outside of ooh woo.
He's like watching a game. No. Who knows? No, I always wonder because I've never been on the other side of it, but I can imagine that some people just sit there and listen and they're like, wow, like, what's this guy's story?
Actually, one of my favorite people right now on there is someone that got handed to me from two other performers.
Oh, really?
One of them's a porn star. The other one's Justice. He bought her kids hockey gear for this season. And then he was a regular to one of my other friends.
I'll talk to you.
And so he showed up in my Sex Panther and he was like, hey, I'm friends with this girl and this girl and this girl. Do you know this one? And so we had like multiple days of multiple like video calls in a row of just chatting. And like I got to flash him my titties a few times. And it was just a really chill conversation. I loved it.
You don't do any like masturbation or anything like that on there?
I mean, sure, if you want to send me a couple $100. But I'm definitely not doing it for anything less than that.
It's not something you just do it already. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. Nothing's free. Not even that. So have you had any porn aspirations ever, or is that just not in your wheelhouse? Like that's...
I mean, at one point I really wanted to film like a mini series of like lap dance, like behind the screen in VIP champagne rooms, like the guy that wants his balls stomped on, the guy that just wants to fucking cry on your lap and in your shoulder, the guy that wants to give you massages, the foot guy that's like asking to swallow your foot like a toad. Yes, that has happened to me. I'm feeding off of all my own personal experiences.
Right.
I thought it would be kind of cute, but I can't script. Like, I'm very in this moment kind of like person, so it's hard for me to be able to write a script for that, let alone translate it to someone and then pitch it to someone that's going to be a good character for it. Like that's not my wheelhouse in the slightest. So I have the idea of the thing I want to do, but I'm sure at some point I'll figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, it's funny because now that we're talking about this, a friend of mine sent me today that the human carpet, he died today. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He was in New York. He was the human carpet.
Okay.
And that was his shtick, that he would lay in, in clubs and stuff, and people would just walk on him. And that was his whole thing. And he had a little sign, I guess it said, "No stilettos, please."
I had a guy that got me in trouble in Key West a few times, and this was a few years ago, because he just wanted to lay down on the tiles, and that's not allowed in Key West because, I mean, first of all, we've got glass everywhere.
Yeah.
Second of all, the tiles aren't a clean spot. And third of all, we're like the Jimmy Buffett version of New Orleans. He really wanted me to go to the ATM and like use his card while standing on top of him, and I was like, first of all, I can't touch your card in the slightest. Like, that's not allowed. Like, we're on camera at all times.
Yeah, that always
I can
bothers
stand
me.
on you if you go upstairs in a VIP room, but even then I have to pre-run it through management to make sure they know what they're looking at on the TV.
I'm gonna go walk on this asshole. So just give me 10 minutes. I'll never forget. There was a guy who he seemed. I don't want to phrase it that way. Let me phrase it just a different way. He was a regular guy. I would have never known his proclivity at all. You would never have told. When he got the girl, he asked me. He said, "Can I speak frankly to her?" And I said, "Yeah. I mean, she's fine." And he got in his little bag and he pulled out his whole outfit, and it was a little dog costume. It was like a little skirt.
Did he have the little like?
I
Aw,
had the whole thing.
I love puppies.
Yeah, and he said.
Ponies are a little more fun because they're.
Yeah, he said, I just want to be walked around and fed, and that's it.
You can literally spend an hour with like, eat out of my hand.
That's what she did.
High five.
Yeah.
Lay down. Roll over.
Yeah.
Good boy.
So, and this
Who's
is
a bad dog?
well, that's what's strange is because for so long, I mean, I've lived in the gay community forever now, and I never really understood puppy play, but a lot of friends of mine are into it. And I always go back to that guy and I think, boy, this is just such an accelerated version of that guy.
Yep.
I mean, she got out of that room and she said, that was the easiest money I ever made, and I loved every minute of it. I said, yeah, I'd have gone in there and made him beg and poured the food in the bowl and choked him a little and run him around the room. I mean, I sat there and watched it for an hour. I was loving it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I thought this is the best TV I've seen in a while. But, you know, I watch friends of mine now with like the paw mitts and the mask, and I think you have to get so absorbed into that world that being on the other side of it, do you like that engagement?
I like being paid for it.
Yeah. So it's not something that you, okay, so.
It doesn't make my panties wet, but
No, it doesn't.
It's
Okay.
entertaining as hell.
What does make your panties wet?
Oh my god, a lot of things.
Come on, don't be so general.
Right now
I'm
it's
gonna narrow it down.
tentacles.
Tentacles.
Right now, yeah.
Are you talking about the dildos that look like
Yeah.
tentacles? Oh, what is the fascination with those?
You know
those
what? I think
alien
the
dicks
thing that I
and
really
stuff.
like about it is we don't really have a lot of shapes for sex toys.
Yeah.
Everything's always based off a dick.
Yeah.
And so
That's
my
definitely not a dick.
it's definitely not a dick. I like that it's tapered, so you can start off like really small and work your way to the base.
Tell us more.
Oh my god. I don't know, there's something about like having the length and the textures over
Yeah.
top of it. Like it's a different
You like it when
sensation.
your abdomen's like poking a little. You can see it.
Is that how far you like it?
No. That's a little too deep.
I mean, they
Back
make them,
down, back down.
they make them that long.
I've seen it though, and I look at it. I'm like, oh, well, that looks like there's organs being moved. People are like, no, it's fine. I'm like, oh, it doesn't look fine. But no, because I'm trying to think of who makes a lot of those, like the real alien-looking dildos.
There's a couple of different people that do custom molds now. I mean,
Yeah, they're
silicone
like
molding isn't
big
too
tongues.
difficult, so.
I'm intrigued by them, but I don't know if I want to stick them inside me. I just look at some of it as a little too comical. But then I've been into friends' bathrooms and I look in the tub and I'm like, what is that? And I don't want to touch it, but I see it and I'm like, that's pretty wild. It's hot pink with like a green tip on it or something. I'm like, Now, being a lesbian, are you a toy player per se or no?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what is your go-to toy besides the tentacle
For me or for other people?
for other people?
Probably a strap-on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it really depends on who you're playing with. Depends on who you're playing with, what direction it's going in. Like, I never understood why men were so adverse to toys.
Well, because that's a whole other that's a whole other realm we can get into. That's straight men and their insecurities. Because I go back to a long time ago. Bartender, he dated another bartender. We were just sitting there after work, and she said, "I'm gonna go home and fuck the shit out of him later." And he said, "Yeah," and I was like, "What?" And she goes, oh yeah, he loves it when I fuck him with the strap on. And I was like, I was young, so I really wasn't putting it together. I mean, I think I was like 20. And then, my shirt. Getting, getting heated now.
Did I get you hot and
You
bothered?
did. No, I don't know why the shirt has like a life of its own. But yeah, he was furthest from being gay. There was nothing gay about him. He just liked having his girlfriend fuck him.
You don't need to be gay to like it up the ass.
But that's a lot of, if you approach straight men with that they're,
I've got a really filthy way of looking at it that kind of clicks in, and that's if you enjoy sitting on the can for prolonged periods of time, having a nice long shit, you're probably gonna like it up the ass.
Shane, do you like taking prolonged shits?
That's a crazy aspect from a girl.
I'm just saying, you're literally prolonging the fact that you're having this experience, and to
I'm gonna think about you now when I go to the bathroom.
You should, absolutely, yeah. Just keep in mind that like the amount of so Key West is like a drunken haven. So the amount of times I've had this discussion with straight men, where they end up telling me that sometimes they masturbate while they're doing it because that gets them off, and I'm like,
they're shitting.
You're not really as straight as you think you are. You really just want something up there.
Wow. See, no, I've never
strip club conversations to be had with drunk men.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty interesting. I'm trying to think of when did that has me going so many directions right now. I'm trying to think of what is it called, a blumpkin. Yeah, I was playing Words with Friends or whatever with my family.
Okay.
So my mother and all her sisters, they were there, and you have to pick who made the word or whatever it was, and the word was blumpkin. And my sister and I were the only two people that knew what it was. And everybody that kept asking the question, they were like, oh, it has to be Thom or Rhiannon that put that out there. And it wasn't. It was literally my mother. She had no clue what it was.
But she used it. It's fine.
She used it. And when the rest of the sisters all heard that was giving a blowjob while somebody was shitting, they were like, what the fuck? Like, where did Joni hear that? And I'm like, not from me. It could have been my sister. But even my mother was like, I don't know where I heard it. So, yeah, so straight men have their own hang-ups, but I still believe that if a woman brings them out, they'll play with things. So tell me about, before talking about sex with women or sex with men, which is better?
Short-term sex with women, long-term sex with men.
Okay, why is that?
Women just know what women like, but you can train a man full-time to keep doing it on repeat.
Oh. So men are trainable. Does that mean women are untrainable?
That means that if a woman can't get it, she's probably not going to get it.
I'm a firm believer in that. No, I'm kidding. Black eyes.
I'm
kidding. No,
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, either you're really passionately into, like, trying to get your partner, like, off and you're into it, or you're not. And, like, you can train a guy in regards to what's going to get you going. But, like, at least from the women I've been with, like, it's always been more of, like, a toss-up on whether or not it's going to be, like...
Now, you did say something about lesbian sex earlier. It was something about... It can go on longer.
Yeah, because we can have multiple orgasms.
And what some straight guys can't? No.
I mean, you pop once and then you got to take a break, so.
Hey, that's you, not me. Yeah, no, I would imagine. I'd like, what was I watching? Orange is the New Black the other day. And I was watching the lesbian in the yoga room. And she was like helping with
What season are you on?
I think it's season 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while for me since I watched it,
Yeah.
so.
And I was watching her and I thought, this is such a horrible version of what a lesbian should look like. This woman was so brutal. And she was like, I could help you with those moves. And she was standing behind her. She looked like a truck driver. And I thought, that's why people have such a misconception of most lesbians. Is that's how they're portrayed a lot.
I mean, I view the way the gay community is portrayed in Hollywood the same way I view that sex workers are portrayed in Hollywood, which is we look like just about anyone out there.
Now, you being, okay, you're bisexual, world traveler, you're married, no porn aspirations, no OnlyFans because you're banned.
Yep.
Do you know why you're banned?
I made one
Just too
mid-pandemic, and then I ignored it. And then I tried to get into it, and they wouldn't let me. And then I made another one, and
That
then they
was
banned
enough.
me. And that was it.
And you do sexting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to even read my scribble here. You're also a nudist. That's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
So,
Who needs clothes anyway?
are you a naturalist or a nudist? I don't know what the difference is really, but I thought I'd ask.
I mean, you're asking the question, so I'm not sure. I just don't like wearing clothes.
I would say you're a naturalist.
Okay.
So you garden naked.
Yeah. I cook
Um,
naked too.
Cook naked. That's got to be hard.
Why?
Don't you get burnt?
Why would you like to be hard?
I don't know, just like with a skillet and everything, totally naked.
You know what's funny? I've actually burnt myself twice with bacon, and
I figured.
impressively, I don't have scars, so like, I'm doing okay.
That's what, yeah, because I would imagine, well, yeah, well, that's because our shit hangs right about the oven or the stovetop. So I wouldn't want to be naked cooking myself.
I'm also shorter than you.
That's true. Oh, God, if I could read this. Oh. That was the question I had for you earlier. What award has made you or solidified your desire to stay in this industry? Like what award meant something to you that said, okay, I'm here now, like that I have my place?
I feel like there's always going to be different goalposts, and if you're not moving them, like, you're not moving them. But like, at least in terms of the US, I'd say my international award in 2023 from ED Awards and ED Magazine was probably the one where I was like, I feel like I actually like made it.
Yeah. Now,
somewhere.
do you know who were you up against? Do you remember?
Is it bad if I
Don't
say
even
it?
tell me Canadians.
There were a couple other Canadians in there, yeah.
That wouldn't be bad if you said it.
There was a couple Australians. I don't really remember the list at all, honestly.
Yeah.
I do remember one girl who was very butthurt over it, and
Come on.
she yelled at
Give
me
it to
on the
me.
middle of the floor.
What's her name?
Come
on. Tell me. I'll find out. I'll call justice.
Oh, she knows. She
I
knows
know she knows.
everything.
I know she knows.
But no, I won the award, and I got off the stage, and I literally had someone come up and yell at me, claiming that they should have won the award.
Are you kidding me?
Screamed at me while
Come on,
barely
tell
holding
me.
themselves up.
We have to know.
It's fine. I wish her all the best. It's just, it was a really catty and shitty
her
thing to do to
initials?
someone who I thought was my friend. So we're
That's
not on
unbelievable.
speaking terms anymore.
Oh, now I got to call justice. I'll find out. So you are truly a Canadian because you do not like to put people out. Huh?
I said Canada, not Minnesota.
Yeah. So what's next for you?
My summer is literally almost fully booked out.
I know.
I just got the Hustler contract in with Justice, so that'll be mid-August.
With that old hag. No,
Oh my
I
god,
love
I'm
her.
actually so excited.
I love
Like, an
her.
opportunity to work the floor with her again just sounds like mwah. Like,
I will book you, Janine. And that's funny too, talking about Canadians. When you were flying here, who did you run into at the airport?
Janine, where we both got shafted with Delta's single bag policy for Key West.
That is crazy. God.
I have flown Delta a lot recently, which is kind of funny because
I've never heard that. the
I've
single
never
bag
heard of
policy.
it either. It wasn't online. It wasn't while I was buying the ticket. Like, literally, I was checking in and I had someone else in my house that was like helping me with packing and organizing everything. We were looking at the thing and I was like, why is it only allowing one bag? This is going to be fucked tomorrow.
That
Show up to
sounds
the
so
airport
crazy.
and they had a single bag policy.
And
So,
they won't even charge you for another one. It just
no. So here's my theory. They don't have like their small aircraft sectioned to that like flight.
Yeah.
Because it was the exact same aircraft that flew from Key West to Atlanta that took me here. Like, I literally deplaned to replane again with the same flight crew, too. So that was one of the mainland aircraft. It was bigger. And so they have to overcompensate for the size of the aircraft and the weight that's already in there because we've got a very short runway. And so they just decided to overcompensate with the luggage.
That's crazy. I've never heard of one.
I've never heard of Delta doing that. That's
That'd
usually
be
the
insane.
airline that's like, we'll take your money.
God. The one question I did have for you, because going back to where I said that, I know that when you're at the shows, you're pretty together. What would you say altogether, time spent money-wise, on your full promotion of you? Like, what do you think it really takes from your income and your time? Do you feel it? Or
I mean, you're looking at dresses and gowns for awards, for
Yeah, that's
shows,
what I was gonna say.
for
Tell me
stuff like
everything.
that. You're looking at custom bikinis. You're looking at I wouldn't count the costumes because that's just everything else. But the bikinis specifically do count towards promotion because you
Yeah.
need to look good in the photos. You need to look good when you're representing your brand. There's hair and makeup and nails and just upkeep in general. Then there's actually paying for promotion, whether that's photo shoots, whether that's ads on Facebook or Instagram, whether that's cross collaborations or whatever else you can find. I don't know. I'm probably looking at a good 40,000 annually minimum on stuff like that.
Yeah, I figured.
It's a decent number.
Yeah. What do you think is the most valuable?
Out of everything?
Yeah. I mean, I know you did Playboy. You did some other things. What? Well, let's just go there.
Having decent
did you think you got out
promo
of
is
Playboy?
honestly something that is worth investing in this industry. But if you don't have a consistency with posting it online and it's just sitting there, then it's not really going to do you any good anyway.
Yeah.
So having good promo, but also having a platform to promote it on.
Now, do you have somebody that manages that for you, or do
No, that's all me.
that's all you?
That's all me.
Have you thought about pushing that off to somebody, or do you not trust it yet?
I don't trust it. I really don't trust it. I feel like that's my baby. That's my image. That's
Yeah.
me. That's what I've built within like 11 years in this industry. It might not all be reflected online, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's really hard letting go of that. I did, so one of the things I will plug in here is
No, this is your time. Go for it.
Scott, who owns Platinum 84 in Denver, Colorado.
Oh, no, we're not plugging him. No, go ahead. No.
He's actually incredible with social media, and he has a chat bot that was one of the things that he was promoting pretty heavily, both during Janine's Clash of the Titans and during EDI, because I did both.
Yeah.
And it's a chat bot, an AI chat bot that does comment answers specifically for meta platforms. So it doesn't go into your messages. It doesn't go into anything else. It won't reach out to other things. It just replies to everything for you. So I have it hooked up to both Naughty and Neat, which is a topless maiden entertainment service, as well as
that's what it's called. I should have asked you that.
It's always N for me. I'm sticking to the thing.
Called Naughty and Neat.
Naughty like nautical.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I know, right? Hence all the bikinis with anchors everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And hence the promo.
I'm gonna go look at it now.
It's okay. Once you see it, it all like clicks together slowly.
No, perfect. Only child. Go ahead.
I'm thinking ahead.
I know you are. Hey, I started off with that. So I know that we've had you here for Christmas. We've had you here twice for Christmas.
Twice for Christmas, yeah.
So I owed you a single booking. This is your single booking.
From 2 years ago.
Yes. Shut up. Quit whining.
You've had me here twice, but technically you've only had me here once because you didn't really have me here
She won't throw
last
anybody
time.
under the fucking bus on here, but she'll throw me under.
Don't get me wrong. I loved Christmas here last year, but that was not my show.
I know. That was not your show. But you were a good participant.
I mean, I wasn't going to complain about that one. Getting to like serve Lauren her birthday cake and
From a Corvette with Lauren Lotus.
No, that was the year before.
Oh, that was the year before.
That was the year before.
That's right.
I did the nurse show. You asked me to come in with the nurse.
That's right. You did do the
Yep.
nurse. Oh, man.
Honestly, both shows that you did, like with Christmas and then the Lauren one, was
They were great.
they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
Like, it made for really good content. You had a variety of stuff during the performance. Like it
That's
was.
why we brought her back.
I
Not
like to
'cause of- Not
improv.
because of her personality. Because she throws me under the bus. No,
No, it definitely made for some of our like best content. For
no
sure.
it did. And the crowd loved it. I mean, it all worked perfect. Her cake, which was funny because I go back to that cake. Each time I bought her that cake's like $80 for that little cake.
What's in it?
Pure sugar. Did you taste it?
No,
I
I
mean,
kind of avoided it. No offense.
It is like one of the best cakes I've ever had. I mean, I've had some cakes, and I'm not a cake fan.
I can't eat like Red Bull and like alcohol are kind of my extent of sugar when I'm at work. If
Yeah.
I start eating sugary things, I crash super hard, super quick.
Yeah,
So
no,
me and cake at work are not a thing.
I can't. It's a lot, but that cake, and this year we had the big dick stuck in it. When you were there.
Yep.
And I don't know what crashed the cake, but then when it sat up on the top, I ended up cutting a huge piece off of it, and I ate the whole thing. I swear to God, my diabetes was kicking in. I was like, oh, I'm going to need insulin, because it is just sugar. But she asked me, she said, that cake's really good, but she never ate any. She had like a spoonful. And I think you shoved a spoonful of it in her mouth.
Oh no, I was rolling the dick pop into the
That's what it was.
icing, and
That's what it was.
I made her open her mouth, and then I kind of went a little nuts after that.
Oh, tell us about it.
It was hard for me to figure out what to edit to be
Appropriate, right?
PC for the strip
appropriate
club.
for the page.
How far did Lauren get the pop down? That was a
Well,
pretty,
I mean, my nurse show, as you saw last night, has a pretty decent sized dildo in it.
Oh yeah, because I slapped Ash in the face with it last night. As we were
It
counting
also
all your
almost got
money,
left on stage, stuck to the
counting
mirror
all your
last
moist
night.
money.
It also almost got left on stage on the mirror
did
last
it?
night. Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I slapped her in the face with it while I was counting.
Yeah, that thing ended up on the floor, and then it got rolled around on top of a few times, and
Well, I'm glad you had a good show, because I was so worried that with this whole whatever the administration was doing last night with the street all blocked, we had no traffic on the street for 8 hours. And
I was
most
having a discussion last night with Dan at like closing, and he was like, your following is so loyal, and I was like, I just have really cool friends that like me, and I mean those same friends are the
Yeah, I know
people
what's
that I
wrong with them.
extended my stay here for an extra day for. So
No, they're all good guys. I felt bad because last night I just did not have time to hang out downstairs. I had so much going on, and I kept trying to wrap it up so I could get done, so I didn't have to do it Sunday or Monday as usual. And I just sat up here finishing stuff. But it was good to see all those people come on. I'm glad you had a great show. So tonight we're going to make you do 3 shows.
that's fine.
Shane, are you up for it?
Just one. No.
So make it good. Anything else you want to plug or talk about? Or throw me under the bus for?
Oh my God, how hard can I chuck you?
I mean, I fucked her out of lunch today. No.
I mean, I was expecting a nice lunch, and then you put it off for hours.
Well, we
It's
might.
fine.
I think tonight you and I are going to drive, though, to the Lincoln Memorial after we close.
Okay.
So we can see it at night.
3 in the morning, 4
Yep.
in the morning. Well, you
That's it.
stayed till 5 last night, so.
We are not staying that late. You
I've
and
done
I-
I've done it a couple times with a few of the features that have been out here.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Because I would take them back, but then we'd stop by like some of the monuments and on the way out.
It's fun. When you see them at night, it's the best.
They're actually
They're not even
they're
close to the same
super
as today.
different.
Okay.
Because when you go
It's-
during the day, there's so many people, dude. It's just
And it's deafening quiet. When you go into the Lincoln Memorial at night, it's like ominous. You go in there and you're just like,
Do you know what time hotel checkout is?
oh, you don't have to worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, they'll take care of you. And you're in a room that nobody wants.
you're next door, right?
Yeah.
You know which room she's in. Oh, I can't tell you. I can't. She's in 325. No. She's
It's
in.
very loud. I can hear every honk on the street.
Well, one, she's in that room, but there's a room, and so just a brief story for here. This is how fucked up this hotel is. When they built it, they did not put a secondary wall up. This is literally a party wall. So when they were building it, Dan had told me you could see the inside of the hotel through the brick. That's before they drywalled. They only put the steel frame up and then drywalled. So the room that you're in literally is against this wall right over here.
Well, that's a good thing I'm in here.
Well, that is why they don't book that room, because all of our music blasts right through that into there. That's why we moved the music, the speakers, to face this way,
That's funny.
to be nice to them. Because they kept calling like, nobody on this side of the hotel wants to fucking stay in any of the rooms. I'm like, hey, listen, we've been here 55 years. You guys got here about 10 years ago. Like, bye. Should have thought of that. So the room that you're in, I reserve all the time for the features, because whenever there's noise, you're here.
Yeah.
And then when it's over,
Makes
you're
sense.
back there. So it works out perfect. That's their last room to book. And usually if somebody stays there, they have to move them to another hotel,
Oh my God.
because it's just that loud. So you're in what I call the stripper room.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Good to know. Countless features and porn stars have masturbated super hard on those mattresses.
I'm sure there's been a lot more going on there than that, from what I hear.
I don't know. Can you hear it from?
I have a peephole. I drilled right through.
I bet.
If
Did
see-
you drill into the bathroom too?
Yeah, if you see my little winking eye, you know it's me. Just wave. As you're doing something
Now you're giving me ideas about a glory hole.
Oh, you know,
Building to building.
I almost wore that shirt for this podcast.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that says, "Where's the glory hole?" I should have worn it. But
Missed opportunity.
yeah, next time. So let's get you together. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I didn't even give you any hard questions because you're just not the crack today.
Mm.
Shane, I can see that smirk. He wants me to say something. Yeah, do that. That's good. You know, that would be what a friend of mine, Eric, calls your fish. Wait, what does he call it?
Fishy face?
No, he has another term for it. I'll think of it.
Okay.
I should just look it up. I'll tell you what. South mouth. South mouth goldfish. That's what he calls an asshole. When people go
Okay.
when they push out their asshole.
Okay. That's a new one.
Yeah. South mouth goldfish. That's what it is.
It's also a mouthful.
Yeah. When I first heard it, I was like, what did you text me? And then I saw the emoji and I was like, are you imitating somebody pushing their asshole out? And he's like, yes. I'm like, oh God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. South mouth goldfish. So there. It's gonna be your album.
Okay.
Title of your first album. Nia, always a pleasure. I will see you soon. Thank you for coming. and
Absolutely.
I'll see you in 2 years. Bye.
Where's the bus?
All right. Thanks, Nia.
Take me to the corner of your ecstasy.